Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about all the weapons and gadgets that will most likely appear in the Dragon's Teeth DLC. I'm also going to be adding the stats for each particular weapon. Before I begin, I want to quickly mention the weapons list was originally found and shared by a user called Element of Progress over in the Synthic.com forums. We should really appreciate his efforts. He obviously has some awesome skills to be able to find this kind of information in the game files. Also, I'm not too sure if he was the one that sourced the weapon stats as well. Now remember guys, all this information can be found over in a Synthic.com forum thread. I'll post a link in the description if you prefer to read it. So first up on the list is a sidearm I wasn't expecting to ever make an appearance in Battlefield 4. It is the Desert Eagle. Yes, that's right, the Desert Eagle. Now the weapon stats may be completely wrong, but supposedly it's said to have a damage model of 56 maximum damage and 37.5 minimum damage. So that's the same as the 44 Magnum. Its rate of fire will be 220, which is the same as the SW40. Its tactical reload time will be 2.75 seconds and empty reload time will be 3.2 seconds and will hold 8 rounds in its magazine and 1 chambered. Its muzzle velocity will be 400 meters per second, so that's also the same as the SW40. Its upwards recoil will be 0.2 degrees and a side to side recoil will be 0.3 degrees on both sides. So its recoil is slightly higher than the other revolvers, but not by much. Its spread increase is 0.5, which is the same as the SW40, while its standing still ADS spread is only 0.25. Also, in case you're wondering, the Desert Eagle will not have any kind of trigger delay, and assuming these stats are correct, we have got ourselves a very competitive high damage sidearm. In fact, there'll be almost no reason to use the other revolvers. You also may prefer this over the magazine fed pistols. Next up is the Bulldog 762 barrel rifle, which might end up being a Scar H killer. It shoots 7.62 rounds and is obviously a bullpup design. It's said to have a rate of fire of 700 while carrying 21 bullets in its magazine and will have a damage model of 34 maximum and 25 minimum damage, which is the same as the Scar H, which leads me to believe this weapon will be an assault rifle and not a carbine some people are speculating. The Bulldog 762 is also said to have a muzzle velocity of 450 meters per second. It will have a maximum range of 670 meters. Empty reload time is 3.6 seconds and 3 seconds tactical reload. Its upwards recoil will be 0.55 while left to right recoil will be 0.3 degrees on both sides. Now, do you guys think this will be better than the Scar H? It definitely has its pros and cons if you compare the stats between the two. It also seems like the Bulldog will have the highest damage per second in the game. The gun looks completely badass, definitely the weapon I'm most looking forward to. Next is another sidearm by the name of Unica 6, which looks like a very interesting revolver. When I first saw it, I thought maybe it's a brother of the SW40 as it has a similar rhino inverted barrel design. I may have used the wrong terminology there, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Now, as for the stats, it's said to have an upwards recoil of 2.0. Side to side recoil will be 0.2 degrees on both sides. Standing still ADS spread will be 0.4. Also, its spread increase will be 0.4. It will have a damage model of 56 maximum and a 28 minimum, which is the same as the SW40. Its fire rate will be 210 RPM, bullet velocity will be 440 meters per second. Now, I'm not too sure if this is its tactical or empty reload time, but it's said to be 3.6 seconds and will hold 6 rounds. Also, I want to mention the Unica 6 will unfortunately have a 0.035 second trigger delay, which doesn't seem to match its real life counterpart. Next up is a PDW by the name of SIG MPX, which in real life is an SMG. It's apparently made in the USA and has a fire rate of 850 and will have a 27 maximum damage and a 13 minimum damage. Upwards recoil is 0.36 degrees. Side to side recoil will be 0.3 degrees on both sides. It's said to have a 2.7 second empty reload time and a 2.1 second tactical reload and will carry 25 rounds in its magazine. The first shot multiplier will be 2.1 and will have a muzzle velocity of 340 meters per second. So if all these stats are true, then the SIG MPX is going to be a very good PDW. Now for all the recon fans, there will be another sniper rifle called the CS5, which judging by its picture, it seems like it has an inbuilt silencer like the ASVAL, which I don't think is the case judging by its stats. It's apparently made by a company called Macmillan. Its main goals is to be a compact, concealable, precision tactical rifle and shoots 308 Winchester ammo. Apparently its fire rate is 63, so the same as the Scout Elite. Its muzzle velocity is 400 meters per second and 300 while suppressed. Its tactical reload is 2.7 seconds and it has a 4-second empty reload. It also holds 10 rounds in its magazine. Probably the best thing about this rifle is it has the 100 maximum damage and 59 minimum damage. I can easily see this being a very good close combat sniper rifle. Its stats tell us that it will be best suited to this playstyle, especially if you're an aggressive recon player. Now onto the gadgets. I have to say I had a good laugh when I read about this. I can just imagine the chaos it's going to cause. But apparently there'll be another portable vehicle like the PDA controlled EOD bot. The difference is this one will have a mounted M240 Bravo LMG that carries 600 rounds and will have a really high spread increase of 0.5 and a base increase of 0.5 as well. It will have the 34-25 damage model and most likely, seen as it's an LMG, will have the superior LMG suppression. For whatever reason, DICE have also armed it with a 3GL grenade launcher that shoots at 180 RPM and will carry 3 rounds. I can see some really funny moments with this bot. I have an image in my head of this bot making its way, flanking in the snow in Operation Locker and just killing everyone in its path. It'll be interesting how DICE are going to put this in the game. I'm a little bit worried about if it's going to break the game balance. I mean, can you imagine an army of these things? But nevertheless, it seems like Wally has armed himself for combat. And finally, it's mentioned that the ballistic shield is definitely in the game files, but apparently it's stored in the weapons section and not the gadgets, which suggests it will take your primary slot. There's no way you can just carry the ballistic shield as a gadget and still carry your primary weapon. I would imagine that would cause a few balancing issues. Apparently it's rumored only to be available for support class, which is to be expected anyway. It's also said to do 120 damage and have a range of 2 meters. So obviously if you get caught in melee range, you're going to be dead in one swing of the shield. Apparently it's rumored that due to hardware limitations on the last generation consoles, the ballistic shield will need to be held with both hands. It won't be a one-handed shield with your sidearm in the other hand, unfortunately. I don't know where that information came from, so don't take it too seriously. Now guys, we never may see any of these weapons. Even if we do, the stats might be completely different by the time a Dragon's Teeth is released. So don't take any of this information too seriously. So that's it for this video. Remember to subscribe for future content. Share this video around with your friends if you think it deserves it. Let me know in the comment section if you're happy about these new weapons and what do you guys think about the new bot. So take care and I'll see you in the next video.